wanna. I wish I had a time machine. What's going on, baddies, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Chrissy. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Candidly Chrissy. If this is your first time here and you don't know what Candidly Chrissy is, this is a series here on my channel where we pretty much just have girl chat. We have girls night in. We talk about a lot of real topics. I do story times. I really just talk to you guys like you are my girls, because at the end of the day, y'all are my girls. We sip on cocktails, we have wine, like it's just the whole thing, all right? And if you are new to this channel, I do a lot of fashion content, vlogs, and Candidly Chrissy. So y'all, if you are not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Give this video a big thumbs up. That helps me so much with spreading my content across YouTube. We are trying to get to 100K subscribers this year, y'all, so help your girl out. And don't forget to comment down below, y'all, because honestly, by the end of this video, y'all gonna be kikiing in the comments anyway, all right? So I suggest you get your cocktail and your wine right now, because this story is about to be literally the craziest story that I have told y'all yet. So in today's video, I am doing a story time about how me and my most recent ex broke up. Now, I know if you've been here before, you have heard me talk about this man like, oh my God, my boo, my boo, my boo. Girl! About a month ago, I dropped a video called like Plus Size Dating Love Stories, because you know I had done a series called Plus Size Dating Horror Stories. And I didn't necessarily want to put this into my plus size dating horror stories, because I don't think that this is situational to like plus size women. I really don't. I think that this has happened to like literally every woman in their dating experience. I think every woman has a story like this to tell. And it's just something crazy. So if you haven't seen that first video about how we met and how I just like fell for this guy, then I definitely suggest y'all go back and watch that, because I really don't want to go over the full story. But for the sake of the video and catching some of y'all up, I will summarize it. So basically, like 8 or 9 months ago, I had met this guy in this bar in Long Beach, because I was out for my homegirls, like little graduation after party or whatever. She was graduating from her master's. So we went to this bar that I wasn't even really supposed to be at, and I looked so cute. I was in there, I was lit up with tequila, I was vibing, like coming off of my healing journey from my exes, from I'm bad all by myself, I'm super cute, and they're dancing with a group of like 10 people, not looking to talk to no one. And honestly, a couple of guys were in the club trying to talk, but I wasn't trying to like, I wasn't really checking for nobody, right? So then this guy comes up to me and he's all smooth and all suave or whatever, and I like the way he like kind of came up to me and he kind of touched me and like how he was talking to me. I don't know, I just liked his confidence. It was something about him and I liked his energy. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna talk to him. So he was in my face, y'all, like came over like 3 different times or whatever. And I'm like, let me see what it's giving, all right? So then we start talking and I decide like, okay, I'm gonna give him a shot. I'm gonna get to know him. And y'all know me, I'm very cautious with who I let in my life. Like, I don't trust easily. I don't let just anyone into my life. So I wanted to take it very slow. Like, we both have talked about that. And I wanted to really get to know him, like develop a friendship. And then like, you know, if things went well, we'd merge our lives together and like start a relationship. And I'm an intentional dater. Like, at this point in my life, I'm an intentional dater. Like, that's just what has to happen, because for me, in a relationship, the end goal is marriage and children and having a family. And he was also that way. So I was like, okay, cute. You know, he has a great career. He just seemed like he had this really good head on his shoulders. I'm like, okay, it's giving. You know, we have a lot in common, whatever. So mind y'all, I live in LA and he lived up north. So like San Francisco type of area. And I'm not going to use names in the story. So I'm going to call him I'm not gonna be petty. I'm gonna call him G. And I wasn't even gonna tell y'all the story because, you know, I'm gonna respect other people's privacy, but I decided to tell this story, and I waited for so long to tell the story because I wanted to be intentional in doing it. I wanted to make sure that I learned the lessons from this situation that I needed to learn, so then I could relay it back to you, because a lot of y'all are dating and in relationships, and I know that we talk about dating on here a lot, and a lot of you guys really do like value my advice and the things I have to say. So I just wanted to make sure that at the end of this, after we kiki and we sip, like there's a lesson that could be told. I hope I look cute, y'all, because I literally just ran in the house and decided to film this video. But yeah, him and I started to get to know each other. I'm like, everything's going so great. Like, it came a time in us talking and getting to know each other to where it was like, okay, I really like you. And then it was like, oh, I strongly like you. Then it was like, oh, I think I love you. And I wasn't in a rush to like run up to the bay and see him, and I wasn't in a rush for him to run down here and see me, because like I said, once I intertwine my life with yours, I need to know that everything is like legit. I need to be sure myself, and I need to think through things, like any red flag that I've seen, any, you know, just, you know, things I just need to like see for myself, because I'm very careful about these things. And the time came where he was like, all right, like, it's time, like, I'm coming, like, it's time for us to do this. And I was like, you know what, it is, I agree. So him and I has been like hours and hours on the phone texting, and you know, I had asked him like, okay, so if we're gonna do this like full steam ahead, like you're saying, like, what's the timeline for you to meet, like for us to meet families, and you know, just see, because if I'm gonna really do this with someone, I want them to meet my family sooner than later, because sometimes my family can identify red flags in someone that maybe I'm blinded by because I'm like so in love or whatever, you know? So from just past experiences, I'm like, you know, I would like to meet families, you know, sooner than later. He was like, I'll meet your family when I come down there. I'm like, okay, this soon, like, bet, I'm here for it. Because to me, it just showed initiative and it showed intent, you know, and that's something that I look for in men. Those are green flags for me. So I'm like, bet. So he made the plan, that set the date for him to come. Now, y'all, this is something that is very, very crucial to the story that I need you to keep in mind, because a lot is going to happen. The story is crazy. My grandmother passed away December 31st, 2021. And it was very sudden for my family. Like, she wasn't sick, anything like that. The Lord just called her home, and it was really hard for me and my family. So I had questioned, like, if I should still have him come. I still come and meet my family, and I had kind of talked to my sister about it. My sister was like, still have him come because y'all set the date up, and you know, you've been talking to him for a while. My sister was someone that I talked to and like sought advice from a lot in our situation. And you know, of course he wanted to come and like show his support, and so I'm like, yeah, still come, you know. And we had planned everything, so I'm like, yeah, still come. I think it'll be like something uplifting for me for that time. So he came down here like December 7th and was down here for the weekend. We had a whole plan. He was gonna meet my family, and we were gonna go on our first little date or whatever. So he comes down here, you guys. Everything was so perfect. Like I said, for the full story, go back and watch that video, because it's honestly, it's the cutest thing ever. And he came down here, everything was perfect, we clicked, like everything was great. He met my parents, everything was perfect. They had a lot of like, you know, things in common. They were from like the same area down south. Him and my dad pledged the same fraternity. Like, it was just cute. I was like, oh my gosh, this is me, period. So I was really excited, and we went on our first little date. We went to a couple of places, and it was just the best time. We clicked, and we were both like, oh my god, like, I can't believe, like, this is just the best time. I can't believe we're here. I'm so happy. Like, y'all, I'm legit, when I tell you I have receipts to all this, I don't know if I'm gonna put them in the video, because like I said, I want to respect people's privacy. However, this man was like head in the clouds, like telling me like, I just can't believe I'm in love right now. Like I've been telling my friends and I'm just so happy to be here. And just all of them me like PDA, just like everything. Like we were just so connected. And it was just like, oh my God, I can't believe like this is happening in this time in my life. Like we're so, like we're here, you know, we see each other. And so then he ended up leaving that Sunday because he had to go back, you know, for work and everything. And I had to work, obviously. Like, at the end of the day, the business keeps running. I had to film and do whatever. So, I kid y'all not. Y'all know that I am a prayer, okay? I love to talk to God about it. Like, especially when it comes to big things like this, I'm like, okay, Lord, like, I'm coming to you about this. Now, remember when I told you my grandmother passed right before New Year's Day? So we were having her funeral, and this is the week after he left. A bunch of my family was down, and that Sunday that he left, which was like January 10th, I was in my living room. My cousins were there, and my aunt was there. One of my aunts from out of town is very, very close to my dad. So they're cousins, and we're really cousins, but we call her aunt just because of how close she is to my dad. And she has children, so of course, you know, they're my cousins. Now, my cousins weren't here. However, I want you to keep this in mind. The dude that I was dating went to the same school as my cousin. So they have the same alma mater, and they also were in the Greek life. So my cousin pledged one sorority and he pledged a fraternity. So they knew of each other, okay? They didn't know each other like that. Like they weren't buddy-buddy, but they knew of each other. So I had already made the connection with him. But my dad was like, and this, I'm gonna just show y'all how God works, okay? So my dad was like, oh, tell everyone who you brought over to the house. Christine brought a little friend, little boy. You know how black parents are. Christine brought her little friend over to the house, telling what's going on. So I was telling them about everything. I'm like, y'all know I'm real private. Y'all know that I'm very picky about who comes into my life. So I just feel like this is it for me. Like we talk marriage, all of that, right? So I'm like, oh, auntie, like, he went to the same college as my cousin, your daughter. And she's like, oh, for real? Yeah. So then the funeral happens. Everyone goes back home. She has a casual conversation with my cousin, like, oh, this is how the funeral went, everything. Oh, Christine told me that she was dating so-and-so, and y'all went to school together. You might know him. And so my cousin's probably like, oh, yeah, I know him. That's what's up. Kid y'all not. Maybe a week or so later, y'all, it was a Tuesday morning. That Tuesday, I remember waking up, having my prayer. I prayed to the God. I said, Lord, I pray for my relationship. I pray that you will be at the center of it, Lord. But ultimately, if this is what you want from me, or this is what you don't want from me, let your will be done. And I remember saying the words, let your will be done. And I was so nervous to say it because I know that when I say let your will be done and I release something and hand it over to God fully, that he gonna let his will be done. He gonna do what he has to do in the situation, whether you like it or not, but it's all for your good. So I prayed that. Kid y'all not, 4 hours later, I get a phone call from my cousin. Now, I missed the call because I was filming a video for y'all. I was filming a Pretty Little Thing haul. So if you saw that video, comment down below, y'all. This is what was going on in my life at that time. I filmed a Pretty Little Thing haul, and I saw her call me because I checked my phone. And I was like, okay, I can't call her back right now. I'm going to have to wait to call her until I finish this video. Because if it's something bad, then I need to have finished this video. Because one thing about it, what these dudes not going to be doing is paying my bills. Like, this is what I've learned. So I was like, I need to finish my work if this is something bad. Because, and the reason why I knew this was something bad, I don't know, my spirit just sank, my heart sank. And also, like, y'all know us. Like, we're 25, 26 years old. We text. So when someone calls you, it's because they got something to tell you. And I already knew. So I'm like, oh Lord. So I finished filming, and then immediately I call back my cousin, and I could hear from her voice. She's like, cousin. And I'm like, oh gosh. I'm like, yes. story. Before I even go into this, let me just take a sip of water, and I suggest y'all do too. Okay, she's like, cousin. I'm like, yes. She's like, so I was talking to mama, and she told me that you were dating so-and-so, and you know, we went to school together. And she's like, I'm gonna just tell you this. I saw my friend, which is one of her sorority sisters, and just saw her after she hadn't seen her for a while or talked to her for a while. She said, I saw her literally in passing, and I asked her, you know, how were the holidays? And she told me how the holidays were. She said the holidays were great. You know, I was with her partner and her best friend, keep this in mind, with her best friend and with the dude that I was dating. She said the dude that I was dating came down for Christmas. Now, I was like, wait, what? So, mind y'all, if you didn't catch that, because I'm trying to keep people's identity, you know, I'm trying to not give people's identity away. My cousin's sorority sister and friends, her best friend, basically was dating my then boyfriend, the guy that I was dating, and he went down there for Christmas, and they all spent Christmas together, okay? And I had no idea about this. And I'm going to tell y'all why I had no idea about this in a moment. So then I was like, there's no way. And so she was like, listen, I don't know a lot about the situation, but I'm going to connect you with my friend, which is the girl's best friend. So I'm like, bet. So I text him, and I'm like, listen, you need to call me right now. And as my cousin is connecting me with her friends, he starts calling me. So I'm like, okay, y'all, I have to call y'all back. He's calling me. Because honestly, like, I needed to talk to him. Y'all already know how this feels. Like, I needed to talk to him, and I needed to let him know what was going on. And he was just frazzled, like, couldn't really say anything. He was at work. So I was like, whatever. So I get on Instagram because I'm looking for a coming to you as a woman DM. Sure enough, in my DMs, here was a coming to you as a woman DM, and it was the girl that was his girlfriend, okay? So she DMs me, and I noticed this girl has been following me. And she DMs me, and she's like, hey, are you in a relationship with so-and-so? I just want to let you know that we've been in relationships since 2017. And I'm like, I know you lying, not 2017. This girl said, we've been in a relationship since 2017. I really don't want no drama. Like, I just want answers. I just want information. Can you call me on this number? So I'm like, oh Lord. So I sat there and I was like, should I call this girl? And then something just led me. I'm like, let me call her. Because at the end of the day, like, I would never date a woman's man, like, not knowingly. And I feel like, you know, I'm a girl's girl, and I feel like if you need to know information about something, if a man is out here thinking he gonna dibble and dab, have his cake and eat it too, like, that's what we're not gonna do. So I wanted information as well. So I called her, and this is what broke my heart, y'all. Like, she got on the phone, and she was like, first of all, I just want to say that I have been following you for a while, and I love your style, and I got this outfit because of you, and da-da-da. And I'm like, stop. Like, first of all, like, that really broke my heart. I was in tears, and I was like, I need you to know that I would never do this to another woman. Like, I would never do this, ever. Like, the situation this man put me in. And she just explained everything to me. She was like, he's been, like, abusive, in every kind of way, and I asked her certain questions she wasn't comfortable answering, but you know, when you ask certain questions and someone doesn't want to answer it, you kind of like get your answer without getting your answer, you know what I mean? And you know, she was just telling me all these things, and you know, certain things that we were like clicking together, and I was like, what is going on? Y'all, from that situation with her, I found out that this girl was living with him for months, pretty much through the whole time that him and I were talking. How he hit this, I have no idea. When I tell you I would talk to this man every single day, pretty much all day. I don't know how this man did this until I talked to the girl and figured out how he did it. Mind you, he's long distance, so I had no way of really knowing, and in my mind, I was like, I want to take this slow, and so he probably was like, oh, great, she wants to take this slow, so she's not in a rush to come up here, whatever. So this girl told me that, like, he picked fights and stuff with her, and then go MIA for days, and I guess that's when he came down here, and he was heavy on me, da-da-da. So I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to figure out the timeline to where he was with y'all for Christmas, because that don't make no sense to me. I was talking to this man the whole time, and at that time, his apartment had flooded, because I guess where it was sitting, and there was like a storm up north, and his apartment had flooded. I knew about all of that. Like, he called me about it and everything. And so I guess because his apartment had flooded, which is the reason why he went out there. They had she had like offered to fly him out there, right? So he flew out there to see her for Christmas. And I was like, okay, that's so weird, because how was he talking to me the entire time? Then her best friend confirmed to me that, you know, he picked a fight even out there, and then like went MIA and was on his phone and all this stuff. So I'm assuming that he was talking to me. So, child, so I'm giving the girl information, she's giving me information back. Then it got to the point where she was like, I just can't hear anything anymore, like, this is too much for me, yada yada yada, I can't. So I'm like, bet, cool, but I'm not done with the situation, because I'm not done handling him. So her best friend steps in and is like, listen, I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know. This is a narcissist, this is a manipulator, I do not like him, y'all will never know peace with this man, he's a liar, he's a serial cheater, he's an abuser, he's all these things. That I'm like, stop, because I did not know this man to be this way. Like, the person that I knew, that I had experiences, would not raise his voice to me, had not called me out his name. I didn't really ever argue with him. None of that. Like, none of that. Y'all are describing me to me a whole different human being. They had like the most abusive like relationship, up and down, I guess, while she was living out there. And I'm going to hold back from some details, because I don't want to completely tell this girl's business, because at the end of the day, her and I are innocent in the situation. I mean, I kind of don't really like her now, because then we'll get into that. But her and I are innocent in the situation. But the situation was really bad, extremely toxic. So I get on the phone with him. Now it's his turn, right, to explain. And I already know everything, because the best friend put me up on game. And the best friend was so sweet. She's so freaking sweet. Like, to talk to me, to console me, to check on me. And she didn't have to do that, but she understood the gravity of the situation. She was tired of old dude doing this to her best friend and to other women. And she was just the sweetest person. She didn't have to do what she did for the situation. So I get on the phone with him. This man, he's telling me, when I tell y'all, he dogged this girl out, and it's gonna make more sense later on in the story. He dogged this girl out, telling me she did this and this and this. She be calling my job. HR knows about all of this. I'm in an abusive situation. I come home and, you know, all my stuff is outside, and she put her hands on me and da-da-da, and just telling me all this stuff about this girl's mental health and everything. Mind you, I don't know this girl like that, and you're just telling me all of her business. And it's so much so, and he's such a good liar, such a narcissist, to where I believed him. Like, I kind of started believing his story, and I was like, this makes sense, because I've seen situations like this before. And then he started sending me screenshots of conversations he's had with her parents, with her best friend, like with his like mentor or whatever. And it was just horrible. It was nasty. It was rude. The way he dogged this girl out, it was disgusting. Like, if I really went into detail with y'all would just like, I remember he shared one analogy with me, and he was like, I've been trying to get out of the situation for so long, but I can't get out of it because of this reason, because she keeps threatening to do this. And you know, I've been trying to get out of this. Like, I'm so embarrassed by this. I never posted this girl before. Like, this is so toxic. You know me, I don't like toxic stuff. And he said that he was talking to like a mentor about this. And he was like, my mentor compared her to like a dog being in my home that like basically he doesn't want, or something like that. It was something, but it was just something so bad to where I was like, there's no way that he truly wants this person or is having a good relationship with her, and like this is how he's talking about her. So I kind of believed him. However, I didn't believe him in the sense that I wanted to be with him, take him back, or anything like that. I just believed him in the sense like, maybe this is a crazy relationship, but honestly, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, but however, I don't need this drama in my life. I don't want this good, like, you're released, you can go. So literally, I was going through the motions. I was really upset. I was crying because I just felt bamboozled. I felt like I was just really caught off guard. I was going up and down. I was like, you know, I love him and I want to be with him. But then I was like, oh, this is sick. I could never trust him. I could never be with him. Like, so it was up and down. And we were talking like every day for a week, for hours and hours, because I was trying to get answers. I was trying to hear everything. And like, I kid you not, on the phone with this man like 5 hours a day for a week, with him telling me the same thing, dogging this girl out. And then I wanted to make sure that someone else heard this. Like, I'm really smart about this stuff. Like, this man was in tears, bawling. And I said, you know what? If he's lying, he's not going to get, he's not going to get past with these lies. Like, I'm gonna get him caught up. And so I had to put my emotions to the side. I talked to the girl's best friend and she's like, no, I'm game for this. Like, let's team tag him. Let's double team him. So I had her on the phone. She was on mute while I talked to him, calming him down, everything for like 5 hours. I took it like a G, y'all. I watch a lot of like crime docs and like murder mysteries, so I know like how police interrogate people. And it was like dealing literally with a narcissist, with a psychopath. He was bawling in tears, and I had to calm him down, talk him down, make him think that I was on his side in order for him to like really tell the truth and tell me all these things. I was asking him very specific questions, so her best friend could hear and relate the information back, because I guess the girl just wasn't like strong enough to hear all these things. I guess the biggest part of the situation, the biggest thing that hurt me is, you know, I was innocent in this. I'm just a lover. Like, I don't seek to hurt anyone. I don't do nothing to no one. My love is so pure, and he knew that. Like, I had implemented everything I learned from my healing journey as far as like communication and just like everything. And that's one of the things that, you know, he really liked about our relationship. And he was telling me all the time, like, we're communicating so well and all that stuff. And, you know, it's just, it was crazy because I be here in my own world. Like, I'm not one of those girls that just be out here like trying to find a dude to give her this, give her that. Like, I work really hard. I built all of this on, you know, from the ground up. I be here by myself chilling. I'm a Scorpio, baby. Like, I be here chilling by myself, and this man targeted me. And now that I think back on everything kind of makes sense. So one of the things that hurt the most is him kind of like, I felt like he preyed on me at a very weak time when he came down here and you sat in my parents' faces and you lied to them and you lied to me during a very vulnerable time in our lives where we had just lost the matriarch of my family and my last grandparent. Like, all my grandparents are gone. She was my namesake, and it was so unexpected. My dad's mom. Like, you sat here in front of us and you lied, and he used my grandmother in his lie. That was really hard to hear, and that hurt. And it hurt to even hear her best friend say, like, he violated you. He violated your trust. He violated your family. Like, because I feel like, do whatever you want to me, but once my family is involved, you kind of cross another level. And I just could not believe that someone I allowed into my life and that I said that I loved and said that he loved me, like, and looked me in my eye and said all these things, like, would use something that was so sensitive to me to be in his life. He's telling me things about this girl, then he's trash talking me to the girl too. So he was like, I went down there because her grandmother died. Like using my grandmother in your lie as to why you did, like it was just dirty and it was nasty and it hurt my feelings. Like I don't want to cry right now. I'm sorry. I don't want to cry right now. But it's just like nasty and it's dirty that someone could like do things like that. You know what I mean? And how you could just lie like that. And but when he was telling me all these things, initially I believed him until like I talked to the girl again. So I had made the whole plus size dating love story, and at that time I was still believing what he said. Like he had went through all this with this girl, and I was still like, well, like I'm not dealing with him. Like there's no way. But he was like, I'm gonna go work on myself. And he's like, I still know, you know, the time that you want to be married in, and da-da-da. And I kid y'all not, before I found out everything about him, we had spent like 5 hours on the phone talking about our wedding and looking at rings and just all these things. And it was so much so to the point where it had become a part of his life, to where like I would say things like my kids, or I want my kids to do that, and he'd be like, ours. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's how deep it was. And I just remember him telling me on the phone, like, I wanted to do this so bad. And you know, I think that they're just in a very toxic, disgusting relationship. So when I made the video about the plus size love story and how we met and everything, because I wanted to like tell you guys that we broke up, but not such in like a negative way, because I kind of owed that to y'all, you know? I mean, I don't owe anything to y'all, but I feel like because I'm so open and vulnerable with y'all, like I wanted to tell y'all. And so that's how I decided to do it. So I guess the girl had seen the video and she messaged me like, are you trying to embarrass me? Like that was so embarrassing to watch. It came across my recommended and da-da-da. And I'm like, how did that embarrass you? Like I didn't mention you. I didn't mention the situation at all. Like no one knows. No one would know. Like, what are you talking about? And then some things came out to where I realized that he lied about everything. I think he lied about this girl's mental state and who she was. And, you know, he just lied. He lied about everything to make himself look better and to save himself. And he's one of those guys, I think he's a lot more important than what he is. He's a very small, sad, miserable human being that probably has a lot of trauma that he needs to deal with and personally seek therapy for. And he wants everyone to see him a certain way. He wants everyone to see him in a certain light. And again, he's really not that person. And he lied about everything to make himself look better, and it angered me so much so. Like I acted out of character. It angered me because more so about my family and how he mentioned my grandmother and his lie. And you know, it was just, it honestly was crazy. Then I found out a couple weeks later, like this girl just took him back. Just took him back after I'm like sending her messages, after she's telling me I'm so broken, I have anxiety, all these things. And I'm sending her messages like, listen, you don't deserve this. Like, you know, I hope that you heal and find someone that really deserves you. Like, you can't let him take your confidence. You can't let him take these things from you. Like, you know, he doesn't deserve you. Always trying to build her up. And I realized I can't play Captain Save-Ho. Like, you know, she gonna do what she wanna do at the end of the day. And it just showed me like, they're in this toxic, disgusting relationship to where he did all this to you behind your back, but a week or two later, you're just back with him, like, you know? And it taught me a lesson of, y'all, you cannot look at anybody else's relationship and say goals. Like, you might have seen these people on TikTok coupled up, and y'all, you cannot look at anybody else's relationship and say goals, because you don't know what these people are going to. These people are both sad and need therapy and are in a very toxic, nasty relationship. And it made me sad because I'm like, you know, I teach confidence on this channel, and I want every woman to feel confident enough to walk away from relationships where they're not valued, to walk away from relationships that are toxic. But I also understand and can relate to the feeling of being in a toxic situation that, you know, unfortunately kind of feels like home or feels like your best option. I think, you know, whether she wants to admit it or not, that's how she feels and that's what she's in. Because she had made a comment to me like, you're just mad because he didn't choose you. I said, choose me? Choose who? He didn't have a choice. He couldn't have chose me because he didn't have the choice. I can't be with someone like that. I would never trust him. Ever. I would never trust that man. Like, and this is not the first time he's done this to you, babes. Like, and I'm not gonna go too into it. However, this is not the first time he's done this to her. Anyways, y'all, I told you the story because I always want you guys to pay attention to red flags. And more than anything, I told you guys the story because whatever relationship you're in, whatever relationship you are thinking of pursuing, take it to God. That's why I always tell y'all, I give it to God, take it to God. And to never be upset with God when he just up and removes people from your life. Because when God removes people from your life, he saw things and he heard things that you did not see. I literally came across this TikTok. He saw and he heard things that you did not see. Things that were going on behind your back, and he wanted to protect you. He loves you so much that he wanted to protect you. I feel so loved. Not gonna. I cry all the time. I feel so loved. Like, I feel so protected by God. I said, Lord, let your will be done. And he did it. He removed that man out of my life, and God has always protected me from things that were set out to destroy me and to hurt me. And ever since then, I've just changed my whole life. Like, I've literally given my whole life to God because, oh my God, like the love that he has shown for me, I don't know what could have happened to me in my relationship with that man. So I hope y'all enjoyed this story time, girl. Like, when I tell y'all that song, like, I wish I had a time machine. Oh, can I get I wish I had a time machine. Like, I am that song personified. Like, I wish I had a time machine. I wish I never met that man. But at the end of the day, like, I needed to I guess just realize that I have grown so much in my own personal journey, and so many things that I have wanted to heal through, I did heal through. I mean, that hurt me really bad, but it didn't have me down for long. I was down for a couple days, and then I was good to go. Like, I was good, and it made me realize that I can love again, and I can love someone, and I can have a healthy relationship, and I've learned so much from my own healing experience. So to those two people, if y'all happen to run across this video, I pray for y'all. I hope that you guys get the therapy that you so desperately need. Okay, that's petty. I hope that you get the therapy that you need. I wish the best for both of you guys. Babes, the girl, I hope that you find self-love and confidence within yourself to realize that you deserve a better situation. For him, I hope that you seek help. And learn how to be a better man, and really learn how to be the man that you present yourself to be and that you want to be. And all in all, I hope that you guys find God out of all of this and give your life over to him and just become better people out of all of this, okay? I personally, in my own life right now, my healing journey, am just working on forgiveness, forgiving people. I felt like my kindness was taken for weakness in the situation in so many different ways. But, you know, at the end of the day, I always come out on top. I'm always better from every situation. I always learn so much, and I'm just excited to see what's next for me. You know, I'm at peace with everything. I really am, and I kid y'all not. The day after I was like, okay, I'm giving this up, I'm letting it go, I got my Skim sponsorship. So just, you see how God works. Sometimes God has to remove people from your life in order to bring you something big. You know what I mean? So I hope that y'all had a kiki out this video, and I hope that y'all were encouraged as well, y'all. I love y'all so much. I hope that the next big story time I do will be about the love of my life, my husband. All right. So y'all, of course, comment down below. Tell me about your experiences. If you had an experience like this, or kiki with me about mine. Like, I'm at the point now where it's like, whatever, we can kiki and talk about it. So I love y'all so much. I thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah.